And we're also live on Facebook. We're really happy to have you here. As we know, this is our 10th month of Visualizer Visit. And right behind me is a background of the Finnish landscape in winter. It's actually called snowstorm. And in the northern part of Finland, it can get very exciting and exotic. Anna is a very good downhill skier. I'm just learning how to ski myself. And in a couple of days, I will be doing my remote work in Lapland. I think that we have a lot of visualizer visits actually in Lapland, a lot of properties in Rovaniemi, which is the capital of winter capital of Finland, is located. And I'm going to try to visit some of our very famous Nordic brands like Sokos and Scandic in Rovaniemi. And even today, if there is enough time, we can show you the properties that have visualizer visits in the northern part of Finland. As you know, Visualizer Visit is Finnish born, but it's global. And we're so happy to be hosting today some of our DMCs and meeting planners from around Europe. Um, Asia, by the way, is very active with less COVID infection in Australia, Singapore, and East Asia. So I'm very happy to keep in touch with my hotelier since I was actually born in Asia. So
Can
Anna,
you,
that's my
Sheila,
introduction.
can you, Sheila, tell a little bit about yourself, what you do professionally, and we also give an intro to ourselves. What is our background in the mice industry?
Exactly. So in my place card in Zoom, I put my real name, Rikunen Sheila, and of course it's Maria Sheila. And I'm located in Finland, but I am part of the Helmsbrisco Nordics team, which encompasses the Baltics region and the Russian Federation, as well as the Nordics, which is comprised of Iceland, Finland, Sweden, Denmark, Norway. Did I forget something?
Oh,
The
yes.
Greenland.
Well, I mean, we have the Baltic states, so Latvia, Lietua, Estonia,
Exactly.
Russia. Yes, so you did cover, and then the whole of Scandinavia, Finland.
Right. And I
Would
also
you like?
added there our membership in MPI. For the last 2 years, I have been at the Anti-Human Trafficking Committee of the Global MPI. So I met regularly my colleagues around the world, and we speak about how to uplift the hospitality industry in terms of corporate social responsibility of anti-human trafficking. And just recently, we have changed our leadership, and I intend to be very active in these NGOs. And MPI is still one of our very active industry players that supports us during these times. And finally, I also added my membership at the German Chamber of Commerce Association, where Anna and I have been a past member and a current member. And we are very happy to help our corporate members, nearly 500, maybe 350 at the moment, from Finland, doing business in Germany and globally. So that's my introduction.
And we can actually, I was going to suggest to take off the screen sharing. So thank you very much. So you can also show a little bit of your background at the
Right.
moment, because it's that lovely Finnish Lapland that
Oh,
you're going to
okay.
be. So you can stop the screen sharing.
um, okay, let me see. Right. So
So
that's
there we
me.
are. So you're going to go here in what's your background now, in next week?
Exactly. I know that Anna's also in love with Northern Finland. Everybody loves Northern Finland. And it's a hub for winter sports. So I think some of our team in Visualizer is also thinking of skiing holiday at some point in this time. So especially during skiing holidays, Northern Finland is very busy. But because of our lockdown situation, which lasts until February 25, we have the slopes to ourselves. So welcome, and in case you are in Finland tuning in, do visit me in my little cottage in a couple of weeks in Rovaniemi.
Oh, great. Excellent. Yes. So, yeah, some of us, I mean, we've been there over the winter, but we don't have lockdown in Finland at all. So we do have higher restrictions. However, unlike the red areas and Central Europe, especially in USA, in Finland, you are able to visit restaurants, go shopping, malls are opened as normally, hotels are open, etc. So there is no lockdown really, which is, it's been well, I would say, controlled pandemic for our side. And we are a small country, 5 million people. So it's been like New Zealand, maybe slightly easier, having all these distances. We don't have as big, metropolitan areas as in Netherlands or in Germany or UK. But I mean, that's why, the second thing about Finnish culture, going to these remote areas where Sheila is now sitting in the snow. I'm here with a dog. I mean, my background flickers a bit, but the point is that this is where we are. There's not that many people. So if you're planning for holidays or so, I would highly recommend Finland, because you can then after maybe March, already enjoy this country. So the restrictions are only in flying in. So you need to have your COVID test done, and then either have a real reason to visit. So okay, so let's go to our program. I know we have talked a little bit about where we are, and yeah, I recognized when you said the MPI, human trafficking, all those policies, how they're also reflecting to the World Educational Congress. And I joined the US team as the only European participant to the event review proposal team, as in the committee. So I'm chairing that committee as we are looking into the topics that we will be handling in July when MPI members are tuning in. This is a hybrid event, so 1,500 is planned to have on site in Las Vegas in July. Very hopeful, let's see how the vaccinations progress. I personally won't be flying to USA. It's too early for me to take that step. But there will be the hybrid element, virtual side, which we're going to talk about today, is how we are planning our program. And also, I'm Helms Briscoe, area VP of the areas that Sheila mentioned. So we work as a team on a daily basis. Here we go on the actual virtual side of the world. I'm going to actually present a video which tells a little bit about the background, what we are currently looking at. You might be looking at my, first of all, my, like work desk, the same way as we were looking at earlier. But let's go here and see what we have. Wait a second. We have an intro to hybrid events, first of all. So I'm going to share my sound as well. So as you notice, this is our reality. So we are doing a lot of, online meetings and online team building and, what have you, and using platforms like Hopin, Livetto, Prella, WeWork, WeConnect. I mean, there, you name it, all seated. So there's a lot of tools that we have implemented in the past few months. And it's quite exciting, for us to learn all these skills. And I think because, you know, you're here to tune in how we're doing our venue finding, we're going to showcase those tools, because our, you know, daily basis, how we do our work has changed enormously. So yes, we are having our Teams and go-to meetings and Zooms as you are doing, but we also have these 360 and 3D viewing tools that we can travel virtually to properties all over the world. And Sheila, do you have a favorite that you would like to look at today?
I was hoping that we could really even do Finland. We have uh, an on-site inspection coming up with the German Chamber of Commerce in a brand called Sokos. And I was hoping that we could even look at that and maybe send a link to our colleagues in this property just to make sure that they realize that they need their properties to be updated and visualize their visit. So definitely I would like to go to Rovaniemi, which is in the portfolio of our site visit. But to make a little comparison, we could go to a very updated site, such as those that we have presented in the summer, because
Oh,
they have current
yes.
data such as pandemic and safety and security.
I'm gonna open our Radisson Blue. So I'm gonna share the screen so you see different options that we have for Radisson in Finland. And from here, let's take one of these. I mean, it's nice how you know they have a storyline next to the property. So stage for your story is something that we always look for when we are doing our events. So that's a nice intro. So let's check out what the stage for our story would be, what the backdrop of the event looks like. Well, I mean, this is quite an interesting lobby area. So we normally start by checking out the location, and this is one of our first visualizers that we have had, you know, for like 6 years ago already as a tool. And as you can see, it's a panoramic view. So what we would use this for as venue finders and meeting planners right now, because we have these events going for September onwards this year, um, we are checking how the customer flow happens when they are entering the property, when they, you know, have these co-working areas as the hub, and then, you know, moving on. And so we need to really make sure that we have enough space in the property lobby and also this meeting area. And actually, this is a very tiny, I would say, the meeting lobby area. So for this purpose, we're going to look at something slightly bigger. So let's go to another property because we are sourcing out for our meetings at the same time. So let's look
The
at
Radisson,
the.
yeah,
Sorry.
is a very important global brand. So it's present in Asia. When it opened in Cebu, Manila, in Cebu, Philippines, everyone was so excited for it being a Nordic brand. And yesterday I passed by Radisson Seaside Blue, and I was so impressed with the way the Radisson Hotel was lighted. And it's still like one of the most iconic, almost Art Deco type of hotel we have in the city center. So yeah, it's exciting, as and you have seen how it was presented in a portfolio visualizer visit.
Oh, definitely. So I'm trying to find one of our recent uh, favorites that, you know, we have actually looked at, and because we have such a huge wealth of these presentations, I'm just going through some of them to find what we want to see. Marina Palace Hotel is hugely popular. Um, it's actually in Turku. So if you haven't visited, that's on the west coast of Finland. So let's gonna check out that one, you know, next, just to see what kind of lobby area they have. So we have.
Yeah, it's kind of like a business hotel. And even when I'm sourcing out to South Africa, I see a couple of Radisson in that continent. So we also have a very strong partnership with the Radisson salespeople. They have had a big event, kind of like Nordic Nordic promotion where all the sales executives came to the five Nordic countries at least and presented the latest things you can have with Radisson.
Definitely. I mean, these ones have nice views as well. I mean, this you don't directly see it there, but it's right next to the river, and these are quite popular. So we would go into capacity charts and to see, which ones are the largest for our classroom style, because that's the most popular setup with the U shape at the moment, and therefore we can just directly jump into this space, which it's proposing to be our key area. So let us see that one.
When I had an onboarding yesterday with a hotelier, Global Sales, she was very impressed with the way the capacity chats are presented in Visualizer Visit. It really demonstrated how smooth and easy it is to be in a capacity chat, and even the interactive floor plans that you could maneuver without changing pages, just still in one URL. And that's really the beauty of that.
Definitely. And I mean, here you can hop very fast to different areas. Like there's a library that it's highlighting, little about the ambience already in the name, but very long table, which again is perfect for the smaller meetings. Um, of course, we have restaurants as well that we can view for just to get an ambience, when people are staying over, with our hybrid meetings, if the actual organizational crew is in, they would like to see what kind of amenities we have to offer in this property. So
I have a question, Anna. These photos are really important, and images for digital marketing. What would be the price that hotels can expect in investing in new images that shows, let's say, some changes in the hotel lobby or social distancing um, setups? Will they have to invest a large amount of budget, or will existing images be useful?
well, a lot of times, these hotels, it's about 1 week's hotel stay from client's perspective, or for 4 or 5 stars, it can be even only 2 days hotel stay, one person stay. That's how I would say low cost it is to get your materials loaded on this platform. A lot of properties are now also upgrading and updating their photography, so we give consultancy on how to get those very mice compliant photos. And then so the cost, in short, is anywhere from 500 euros, for a really nice presentation that you see, to those virtual furniture that you can also print out a floor plan, based on those virtual furnitures that you can move around. That price goes, quite a lot more. So it really depends on what kind of features do you need. But if you need a 360, the photography itself can be made with your own, like the loyal customer or loyal photographers that you use all the time. We just give instructions how it's done. So whatever price they charge per hour, it would be the answer for those photography sessions. And then, I mean, it goes anywhere from, I don't know, 800 a day, I would say, average price for photography. And if you don't need photography, in some occasions, we are able to also do a demo, so you can come and co-host with us and see how that platform works for you. So it's all really depending on what kind of existing material the hotel has.
And looking at Radisson, by the way, so you can make a very brand style presentation. If you have more than 20 hotels to showcase, you can make a kind of like destination presentation or brand presentation. If you go back to your portfolio of Radisson, and your client would say that there will be post-conference and free pre-conference tours around the Baltic and Nordics region, then we can easily present those Radisson properties in one place.
That's correct. Like we already showed that list. We also have a map view where, I mean, you can really choose what kind of view you have for the brands. I mean, we have clusters which are, one city having 4 properties or one city having 2 properties. So it's really nice to group them together because we usually get presented those properties as a cluster, so we can choose per brand which hotels are most suitable.
Are you able to show me today, Anna, for example, COVID Solutions by Radisson? If you would be so kind to show the audience how Radisson has developed their safety and security measures.
Yes, I'm actually looking for one that, because we are currently updating the presentations. So
yeah.
I'm just making sure that we have one that has it.
Yeah, the situation in the Nordics is so that, of course, in the early times, Sweden had developed this concept of herd immunity, but the Sweden, Finland, and Norway have different agenda and government regulations to tackle the pandemic. So we all have different situation today. In comparison, Denmark and Finland are more or less on the same page. With
Exactly.
vaccination wise, some of the Nordic countries are ahead of us, but we are slowly getting there.
Yes, definitely. And I mean, you wanted to see those details on COVID. We have them for Central Europe because we have been updating the DACH and the Benelux area fastest this year. I mean, they've been very responsive in those markets, whereas in the Scandinavian market, we had a situation over the summer as well, where most of the hotel staff were kind of, working more of a half time. So it's been a slightly slower process to get those COVID details on. So yes, we can forward the Radisson details and the presentation shortly, but I show from the Mövenpick's point of view, how it works. So on the left, we have all our all safe details. So this is a video. So we can actually take a look at it because it's quite fun. And this is, I think, the most visual way of explaining what the property has done to keep up with the standards.
My name is Lex Visser, Director of Sales and Marketing. Welcome to Mövenpick Hotel Amsterdam City Centre. In January of this year, we refurbished our rooms. Come and take a look inside at the new style.
My name is Katarina. I'm sales manager of the Mövenpick Hotel Amsterdam City Centre. Welcome to our freshly renovated rooms. Come and sit down and enjoy this amazing view.
With the Accor All Safe label, we like to take care of our guests and take a look at how we've done it. We certainly have taken the 1.5 meters into account to make sure we have thought of everything for your safety and comfort. And have a look at our theatre style.
And this is the example how we prepare it for you in 1.5 meter coverage style. You can just sit down and enjoy your next meeting.
And here in the lobby, we strive to make sure your stay is amazing from start to finish, with a comfortable and safe place to start your journey.
So that was that. I think it was a great way of adding to this visualizer. And then we can take a look at, and share this on the actual events website or in the invitations to event. We can include this downloadable health and safety, explanation also for all the, if there's hybrid events or live events going ahead in this property. So, I mean, this is a pretty much a best practice example of how to create one-to-one or online webinar presentation. Because, if you have, let's say, all these details, separated everywhere, it's going to take a lot longer during that meeting to scroll down, find them, and hop off from PowerPoint, etc. Whereas here we have on a visualizer all these details already, and we can take a look at the logistics again, where the screens are, where the projectors are, where the speakers are, PowerPoint sockets. I mean, we can really go as in detail. And what's really beautiful is we could do this little,
Yeah, little notes.
notes in there. Then we're gonna share this image. Oh, now I'm annotating, so wait a second.
Yeah,
But I would obviously do this
Yeah.
on my own time.
that's
And
right.
so here, power sockets, check it out. Let's share it. Where are they? Okay, here. This link exactly that you see now is for this point. If I'm moving around, you see the link on the left changing. So it actually is specifically to this zoomed, link that you can do all these notes. I mean, okay, power sockets is probably not so much used, unless in the planning stage. But I mean, we do we do planning with this tool as well. And now let's go a little bit further away to see, how this presentation looks like. I'm just gonna get out of the annotate process, and then we can go back into looking at these ones. But I mean, we're using it, the visualizer, as are very much of a planning tool because we can't travel. And then we are sharing, for example, the location. We can really talk about, okay, how do we get here? It's an interactive map. We can talk about the specific roads, the parking, which direction people are coming from, which countries are we inviting our planners from, the remit. Because, sorry that I'm going back and forth here, so quickly, but the whole point is that on a driving distance, we have 5 countries that we could then invite to this event, if, on the roads, if they don't want to, for example, fly and they want to take their own cars. We know that this particular property has a massive parking lot. So, there is really good catering for those kind of details. We have the meeting features here. We see the ceiling heights, pillar free. Obviously, we can see that also from the images here. We can look, okay, how's the ceiling? Can we hang something out of it? Where's our banner? Where do we need more screens, especially for virtual or hybrid events? It already has two of these screens, so it kind of works really well for hybrid. And then if this is not big enough space, then in this same property, we actually have even more space. So it's adjacent, it's really attached to IJ venues. So we can go into the larger space. Let's see, we would probably do more of a classroom style again. So we can, or theater style, just to see how that works. So let's go and see our largest space. And here,
I love this feature, Anna. Yesterday I was in a presentation from our Swiss hoteliers, and I can see the big difference between using PowerPoint and Visualizer Visit. I feel more confident using one link, and videos and PDFs are all in one place.
exactly. I mean, you can have a lot of material here just to get an overall view on, what we have to deal with, if there's any obstacles, that we need to tackle, when planning this event. When we are inviting our guests to the events, we can use these photo banks directly from the presentation. I mean, you can take, for example, these individual images and just highlight, okay, this is where we have our cocktail hour or the welcome for 10 people, in these standing tables separated from each other. So again, I'm using Mac, so you can see I can drag and drop it directly to our website or anywhere, the invitation emails or materials. So again, we are looking at Visualizer the whole time. Whatever images you are seeing here is sitting on the same platform, presentation platform.
I think I can see how it is called customer and sales focused, because even though we already have identified the property, we still want the delegates to book and see the rooms. And that is why I think to increase my delegate bookings, I'm presenting the visualizer visit of a certain property to my delegates, such as, let's say, happening in October or November. And instead of thinking that I'm going to get 100 delegates, I'm going to aim for 150. if that is allowed in countries where I'm going.
Exactly. And like, it's good from hotels perspective to also understand us clients, how we work. So how we work is we have to go on these websites and PowerPoints and attachments on our emails to find the appropriate images to forward or to place them on our event pages to really promote this property and this event. So to make that process easier for us, will help to bring more customers, more delegates to hotels as well. And here you can see Movenpick has attached the Holland video as well. So they have made even this, promoting the location easier for us. So on the top right corner, there's a copy link. So link copied to clipboard. Now I can just place it to my event again, in my invitation. Hey, we're doing this fantastic tech, women in tech, events. Only 150 can make it to this event because of the regulations next November. So please do come to Holland and click this link. And here we go. This is what they're going to see.
What do you know about Holland? Flowers, windmills, picturesque canals, cheese, wooden shoes, master paintings from the Golden Age.
Yes, we have it all. But let me show you what's really cool about Holland.
You call it organic and artisanal. We just call it food. You call it boutique, independent, alternative. We call it the 9 Streets. You call it exercise. We call it a way of life.
They still drive cars!
Dutch!
Oh, yeah. By the way, did you notice I'm speaking English? We all do.
Hi.
Hello. Hi.
Hello! Welcome to Amsterdam.
Ik niet. Jullie noemen hem Van Gogh. Wij zeggen Van Gogh.
Did someone say Van Gogh? You call it art. We call it the Rijksmuseum.
Dutch!
You call it green energy. We call it tradition. You call it... We call it Amsterdam. Come to Amsterdam in 2013.
You call it the travel day. We call it the first day of vacation.
I think we're going to, leave something for later. So we are sharing this for everybody. Also, you're going to see on LinkedIn, little recording after this webinar, and those on the Facebook Live. You can go on visualizergroup.com or Visualizer Visits and see more of these details. So we will share on different destinations, these packed full of information presentations. And I think, here Hotel Amsterdam City Center is doing a great job on highlighting why we should pick them.
Yes, it's always nice to see the color orange in our IMEX and IBTM events. And definitely it creates such a big difference to have colors in your presentations.
I mean, now like looking at all those, travel photos and at the airport, getting a massage. And I mean, our life has been amazing. And I think we appreciate our industry and our people even more now because of the pandemic. We don't take it for granted anymore. So once, our vaccination situation proves to be safer and we can commence, there are some properties that have meanwhile kind of taken, those top spots in our books. And I'm not saying that this, this is that we've actually gone through 30 different countries already throughout the 10 months, highlighting beautiful outdoor spaces and, Croatia and, Latvia, Lietua, Estonia. We have Slovenia, Czech Republic. I mean, you name it.
It's true. It's really called micro-influencing in a way. I mean, your clients will share images, videos that suit the current times. So if it's like a time for local travelers to be in your hotel or venue, then we promote concepts like bike and go in Doubletree Hilton, and some local things that are happening are easily promoted in visualizer visits.
Yeah, I mean, that's why it's made our work easier. I mean, you wouldn't think so necessarily during these times that, we would have improved so much. But yeah, we have. And I mean, let's go where you mentioned earlier, you were saying about how we cluster properties. So, I mean, just having one country, the chain hotels listed for us, which are most suitable for the events or they're focused in events. Um, we just jump in, take a look, and we can immediately identify, okay, do we have the ambience? Do we have the design? Do we have the storyline that we want to portray in our meetings? I mean, these are quick fixes, very sustainable as well.
And the best things is that, Anna, in the last 2 years, I've traveled so extensively learning about the properties after joining Helms Briscoe. And I can say with all my heart and with a passion that I just love to show what I've seen in Australia and Mexico, even during the lockdown. The last travel I had was, of course, in Belfast for the Helms Briscoe European regional meeting. And was already in March. I can sense that all of us want to book immediately after lockdown, but meanwhile, planning stage still takes, 1 year to 2 years, and therefore, this is a very relevant process for us to go through.
Definitely. You mentioned Mexico, and within a second, we are now in Mexico. So, I mean, instead of us wondering again, okay, do we need to email the property to see, how it actually looks, instead of, us being able to fly there? It took me a second to start looking at, okay, well, this is what we can expect. And, this is actually a phenomenal property. When you look at the space that you enter, this is the meetings foyer. I mean, during COVID times, I mean, the flow for our attendees, I mean, this gives you enough space to keep that distance and, make sure that there's a one-way circulation instead of, going around. And also the outdoor spaces are just spectacular. I mean, we are hopping around, just making sure that, okay, do we like this first impression? Do we want to ask for the prices? Can we privatize it? For our groups, do we want to privatize it? Well, if we have 1,000 people spread out in this, as you can see on a resort map, it does provide us enough space for our largest event and still keep that safety. And you can connect different meeting spaces by screen. So again, with the COVID regulations, keep them as, in kind of like a silos in different groups, and you do the hybrid meeting on a live location. We're using that a lot in hotels in Central Europe as well, where you may have 4 or 3 meeting rooms booked, and their speakers are basically conversing to each room from a separate location, so that again, splitting those people. I mean, there's so many solutions how we can progress with our meetings.
With a large resort property, this is so convenient. You can immediately identify which parts of the property are actually open to the public at the moment. I noticed that during this lockdown era, there are some spaces in the venues that are kind of like under renovation or off limits. So this is easily possible with color coding. Um, what would be the most recommended locations for your clients?
Exactly. Like here you see the numbers. I mean, I can change it to smallest to highest just by a click. I mean, when I'm on a call with a client, this, we've gone through already 5 properties. I mean, they say, no, I'm not really sure about Mexico. How about Prague? So we go to Prague. Let's say visualizer. You can see how I'm looking for it.
That is quite
So
true.
I'll do.
Yeah, we have IT clients that do not think about the venue, but the destination, whether it's exciting enough for their 1,000 associate members.
Exactly. I mean,
And they will,
definitely. Yep. Carry on.
so it's one of our favorite, Hilton Prague.
This is
They
the
have a very,
Yeah, this is the
yes,
Europe's largest meeting hotel. Just to start off with the grand introduction.
and they're very active at the moment. We've hosted them during the summer. Hilton Prague and Hilton Old Town. They have interactive dining with um, the latest one from, from 3D virtual reality. Um, you must go there to experience it. And actually, you could see how it is done here in the videos that are also located in the restaurants pages.
Oh yeah, and the hygiene is here. Let's see the dining here. Yes, I mean, we have the meetings video, which is now quite a good one, but also the hygiene video and so forth. So I mean, there's all this wealth of information that just with this link, which is free for meeting planners to use, you just skim around. I mean, just go through all these details and you get to the information that you need. Let's look at this one. I mean, the meetings and events lobby area. So imagine having all these individuals staying in the hotel, and the courtyard, the center, this is inside of the hotel. So it's suitable all year round. You can display massive laser shows, on that facade of the lobby. You can spread out the individuals. You can privatize this property, and you can do themes. And look at that. I mean, this is the setup. I mean, we would be talking about the pizza slide setup, but the center is like a boxing ring, setup. So you have center stage and then people around it, and you can build avenues for people to move around safely so that they don't cross each other's segments, color code them, and you get quite a safe event. And also you can do a lot of staging here and keep people separate, for example, on those floors in their rooms, and they can still see the show.
A lot of our hotels are actually having a compilation of their venues that have hybrid event facilities, and that's kind of like a must nowadays. So you could select how many attendees will be face to face and how many will be on live stream.
Definitely, that is now the way to scale up and get the ROI back from organizing events, because it is unfortunately more expensive now when we have less people on site. But if we can then somehow leverage by doing the hybrid part properly, you can even build the avatar. There's a technology called allseated.com, so you can do that hybrid model, have a avatar, and then they can connect with the screens to the live event and still have quite a physical experience, meeting people, mingling. And we had a really nice one, Sheila, over the Christmas, our Helms Briscoe Christmas party. We had a live DJ on a virtual dance floor, and we were actually dancing with our avatars and also dancing in our homes. And I think it was the most surreal but funnest hybrid event I've ever attended.
I think the meeting planning is going to be really different after this. I definitely feel like I'm not going to be able to make major plans without a virtual farm trip. I mean, I love those farm trips with cocktails in hand, but I think at the moment I also want to book for 2021 and 2022, even in October, November. And in most cases, I have answered yes, I will be booking in 2021, at least in the Q4 part of it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we are now looking forward, like we have always done. Our industry operates in these cycles of 12 months or so, maybe 6 months being average for planning stage, venue finding, to the actual event. Any smaller event, they can, like the corporate boardroom meetings, those get booked on the same week or even same day. But I mean, our segment is the larger events, or even the citywide trade shows that take over. I mean, we do buyouts for the whole city, 80 hotels in Dubai for Big Five, last year. 2019 was one of the largest ones with 80,000 people attending. So our allocation numbers are huge. And, it takes a lot of time to source out that many hotels. And that's one of the reasons why we're using these quick tools to just go, bang, okay, standard is same. Okay, we can use this one. No, this one is not good. Again, without that travel part being a hindrance for booking. And then, of course, for the venue, for bigger events, we do want to visit on site, but at least we've done our shortlisting in a most efficient and sustainable way.
That's true. And in this image, Anna, I love the fact that you can see there are no visible papers. Nowadays, indeed, we take away papers to highlight safety, as COVID is transmissible by touching objects. And therefore, you could see which properties maybe are kind of like electronic and have really transitioned to digital, where you could plug your phone while you're sleeping. These details are even more important nowadays.
It's also part of the COVID regulations that hotels are removing any brochures or paper, that might contaminate. And Hilton has this 10-point, clean stay program. So here they, first of all, give you the steps that the event ready experience involves. And it does have, if you look at this one, the 10 high touch clean area and event spaces. And this is, useful for us. Not all of us are experts on how we make our event safer. So again, we can communicate this to our attendees that, hey, we have booked this property that is very aware of how the COVID regulations should be applied to events. We have taken extra care for example, the door handles, any surfaces that usually get frequent using, like coffee and tea machines, are not in operation. We have, service directly to your table, so that people don't congregate in corners. Again, that customer flow is very important. So they have here in Hilton really thought about us meeting planners, and that's really beautiful.
This is so basic as I understand. Like we could use it in our daily life when we enter a room or even a restaurant. As some restaurants are still open around Europe and especially in Finland, we could immediately see which are the touch points that we can make sure to, let's say, avoid. And in restaurant dining in the USA, you have plexiglass separating the chef or the server from the buffet. So you still have those little buffet corners, but with glasses in front of them. This can easily be shown in a visualizer visit.
Definitely. And this hop house is located on the lobby, and it can be privatized. And like what you said, we can again communicate with the hotel to say, okay, we want the group to be separated in these seats with this kind of distance, and the service will work this way. So we can really again go into detail, okay, how we're going to get 15 people in this space, during our directors meeting, president's club meeting, or whatever we are doing here. And we are skipping and hopping with all our tools. And what else can we ask for? The next best step is us to travel there on site.
It's true. There are big association events happening still globally. Their websites are up and running. Lately, I just get an RFP answers for a group that is traveling to the continent of Africa. And definitely, I got 12 hotels to respond to my RFP and how best to present these properties then in a visualizer visit.
Exactly. We recently had a very beautiful property. We
So these are public links that you could easily access, and there are no privacy or
We
confidential.
obviously
Yeah,
well,
confidential.
yes, well, I'm just gonna show, I'm not gonna show, I'm just saying that we have, oh, my internet connection is, we have these videos in case you do want to take a look at the recordings. So in some cases, you can just request us what kind of property you want to see, and we can really accommodate that one. So we can give you for free the access to these ones. I mean, we have Venice, for example. That was quite nice. I'm just showing how you find the details. You know, sometimes we haven't entered them in here, but this is one of the most common ways of searching. You know, if you don't know what to look for, you enter the 360 and visualize 360, and you find, you know, a lot of properties here. This one is a gorgeous one in Stockholm. So we could do blind searches here. I mean, Russian roulette in a way. What about we just, you know, randomly search Visualizer 360, the city, those 3 words, Visualizer 360 city, and see what comes up. And we do virtual world round trip.
It's true. I think DMCs and travel agencies can easily work on book their clients even during the lockdown through visualizer visit. And that is why the leisure segment is very important nowadays. Even though we as an organization works in mice, we do have 100 people that are booking for a leisure group, or let's say an education group, to Greece, to some parts of European capitals that really need to be introduced to the culture. So now more than ever is important to have a visualizer visit.
Oh, definitely. I mean, those three, so a lot of the 360s that I've seen, they don't allow to see the capacity charts or floor plans. I mean, they just do 360, and you get lost in the property when you're just navigating with the arrow, thinking, okay, where am I in this property now? Like, how does it help me to book a meeting when I don't know the capacities, for example? Here you're looking at a visualizer where it's Swedish, but with the one click, it's in my language. I mean, I can understand it both, but English is really universal. so
That is
there we
helpful.
go.
Yeah, especially with corporate clients, with large kind of like personnel spread globally, you could select 3 top languages, let's say Spanish, English, or Japanese, and you could change the language in one click.
Yeah, I mean, that changing language is localizing, and it's really good. But because you and I, we work a lot with our international clients, so our most used language is really English. And again, you know, this is cohesive with every single visualizer, is that you have the English version there as well. Sometimes it's, you know, if it's in Holland, it's in Dutch, in Germany, it's in German as well. So those are good things when the event takes place both locally, as now as it hybrid, it would be local and global.
And we have had a presenter from a really premium hybrid venue such as the European Institute of Engineering in London, where you could host the visualizer visit in your hybrid meeting room and showcase at the same time the power and sophistication of your offering.
Did you mention this was the IAT,
That's
yes,
right.
in London?
Yeah, I do like the lobby that we're showing at the moment. It reminds me of the ship venues that are famously built from Finland. We do accept questions as we go along, especially during the last 10 minutes of our presentation. Um, if you are a meeting planner, just go to visualizervisit.com and make sure you book yourself a time and even suggest a property that you would like to present.
Yes, so definitely open for suggestions. So you can visit visualizervisit.com or just get our, you know, details. You can see our names, so you can tag us on LinkedIn, and we are happy to reply and let you know if we have that visualizer that you want for free to use, or, you know, how the process works to bring your property on to be part of the portfolio. So there's a campaign. This is the COVID lockdown campaign that we are adding also for free. So hotels don't have to pay properties for certain period of time. So you can use, in the next Convex or IMEX Frankfurt, which is now virtual event in April and May. So you can use the visualizer there, and then we will contact you afterwards how that experience was and whether you would like to subscribe for a year. And that means we will then get to use your visualizer as a tool when we're presenting to clients. So you are giving meeting planners and venue finders and events a perfect tool, basically.
And then, of course, you can do business wherever you are located, whether in Northern Finland or Asia Pacific, as long as you have a good internet connection. And myself, I'm not having any special studio here. It would be great if you have a venue where a hybrid meeting is possible. I'm just having my laptop and a small light in front of me. And then you can start your business and relationship building with your clients, even during the lockdown.
Definitely. Well, thank you from my side as well. And hope to see you also next Tuesday, same time. This time we're going to do our co-hosting with fellow event venues. And we're obviously looking forward to again returning back to our panelist conversations with hotel hosts. And by the way, our reach is about 59,000 event professionals when we are boosting our channels like the Facebook, or when we are sending the recordings. We have a really good reach for these virtual site visits, and we are inviting our colleagues, meeting planners, on every week. So you can also tell us which destination you would like to highlight, and we are happy to do so.
I'm quite excited. If you want to see the most romantic hotels in the world, you can send us an email in micevisualizergroup.com, and we can make up a compilation for Valentine's Day presentation on the most romantic.
Beautiful. Yeah, let's do that.
All right.
Cool.
Kiitos paljon.
Kiitos.
Näkemiin.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Ciao.